So Arizona moved.
Stop the pod.
Oh no!
The Jets brought back Solomon Thomas.
Oh, dude, you can't do that to me.
All right,
you can't do that to me.
That's the only time I'll do that. It was too good to pass up.
We've had Brady unretire live on this podcast. You can't do that to me.
What? Tom Brady just came back. Put respect on former top 3 overall pick Solomon Thomas' name.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy, my heart just sank. Okay, so welcome to the opening bell of the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. I'm Trevor Sikkema. That is Connor Rogers, and this, as the title of the episode says, is the post-free agency mock draft, baby. We couldn't wait. Connor, at full transparency, we were going to wait till Monday to do this bad boy. The whole time we were thinking, oh yeah, it's beautiful. We'll wait till Monday, let the dust settle, whatever. We got trades, we got signings, we got team needs all over the place. The order has changed, and we're going to give you guys a 2-round mock draft to talk about everything that we have seen in free agency week, whether it was the signings, the guys that left, the guys that are new to each team. There's just, Connor, so much to get to, man. And that's why we could not wait to get these takes out to the good people. I'm excited for this one, man. This is one that I've been looking forward to for a long time.
Me too. The mock draft that did it to him, folks. This is it right here. There was no time to waste. It's funny that we had planned to do this early, and then we woke up and it became even more vital with the big trade, obviously, between the Texans and the Vikings, and of course, Aaron Donald retiring. Cool. It's just, it feels like every hour something is happening. So we need to get this
Brian Burns trade as well. Right. Carolina getting the extra second round pick, like Carolina, the Giants needs.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many priorities now that are different, right? I mean,
100%.
We've learned so much about. We talked a little bit about this on Tuesday's when we recorded, I think, of like the draft strategies that might have changed. But now there's even been so much that has happened since then that it's time to bring all of these.
Keenan Allen.
Dude, Keenan Allen going for a 4th?
In the middle of the night? Like, no respect, by the way, for the legend Keenan Allen. It was just like, whatever. It was like they traded like a nobody.
Dude.
Just gone.
You got Marquise Brown going to the Kansas City Chiefs?
Andy Reid texting him? It's a great exchange. A great exchange between them.
Speaking of great exchanges, I have loved all of the former teammates of these guys who have like moved on to different teams, and they're just like, you're dead to me. Or like, I'm never talking to you again. Like, but
the Ravens roast.
Obviously they're kidding, but that I actually absolutely love it. We need more hostility in the league. That's what we need.
No, we actually really do.
It needs to become more like a WWE. Where's the heels in the league? Where's the storylines?
That's when it's at its best. When that happens in the NBA, when there's a feud in baseball.
Just Pat Bev everywhere.
Obviously, the fights in hockey. Yeah, big Pat Bev energy. Matt Rempe energy.
Actually, CJ Gardner-Johnson is...
he's that guy. He's your guy.
Is the NFL Pat Bev.
If you want to piss somebody off, he's your guy.
Which, by the way, you mentioned a Rangers player. I wasn't going to say it.
It's about time you guys got us this year.
I wouldn't get to say it, but,
Go
Bolts, baby.
Rempe's suspended. That's why it happened.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
That's why we were missing our big bruiser on the 4th line.
Here we go. All right. People didn't tune into this for hockey. We'll get to that in the summer, I'm sure. But let's get into this mock draft, buddy. Who do you want to take, odds or evens? We didn't talk about this beforehand. And
I took evens last time, so I'll take the odds.
Okay. All right. So you got Minnesota at number 11. I have a feeling they're not going to pick at number 11 when it's all said and done. I have more than a feeling. But
shout out. Classic rock song. All right,
let's do it. You're up at number 1.
Let's just run away with it. Caleb Williams, he'll be the number 1 pick. What an offense to walk into for Caleb Williams, man. You're an NFL rookie, obviously a guy with huge expectations, but you're walking into an offense where the line is starting to settle in a little together, but more importantly, you're throwing a DJ Moore, you're throwing a Keenan Allen, they signed DeAndre Swift, you got Roschon Johnson, you got Cole Kmet. I am really excited for the Bears right now. Dangerously, I am contemplating, since I can kind of have an NFC side team, right? I think that's legal.
Well, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
I mean, I can't root for an AFC team because of my.
Oh, because you're talking Jets. About Jets, like fandom.
Yeah.
You can.
But I think I can have an NFC side team. Not that I'm actually like a fan of them, but I'm like, I would really like to see this team do well. And the Bears are starting to trend that way. This is fun. This is a fun bandwagon right now.
I feel like that was the Bills for me. But now I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I say this now, and then by the time the season comes and the Jets are 3-8, and I'm just like, I don't like any team.
I don't actually like football anymore.
Yeah, I just like the draft.
All right, so you have Caleb Williams going number 1 overall. I love the situation. We'll dig into kind of Chicago's depth chart and their free agency people a little bit more when we get to number 9 because there's some flexibility there.
Right.
So Washington's sitting here at number 2, and you have a lot of conversations with people over the last, week. I'll just say week, and you look at a lot of Washington's moves. Okay, Tyler Biadasz, Dorrance Armstrong, Frankie Louvu, the Austin Eckler move, getting Jeremy Chin in there.
A lot of guys.
Dude, just a lot of like really good core players that I think are setting up what Dan Quinn wants to do with this team, the identity that he wants to have,
That's
these
right.
types of players, right? It wasn't a big splash guy. Like they didn't go get a Brian Burns or a T. Higgins or like somebody who might have been available there, but it was just a lot of the backbone of what this team is going to be. And it allows them, I think, to take the quarterback that they want to take here at number 2. I still believe we are in a world where Washington could move up to number 1.
Whoa.
But I think that is less likely than more likely, of course. So we've got them sitting here at number 2. Question is, who do they pick? Okay, one of those free agent signings that they had was Marcus Mariota. When Mariota was signed, a lot of people were like, oh, that means they're going to draft Jaden Daniels. It's like, all right, 1, insulting to Drake May's athleticism, and we won't stand for it.
It's a massive insult to Drake May's athleticism. You're treating him like Brock Osweiler when you say that.
I do think some people think of Drake May as like Peyton Manning. Like he just
I'm telling you what it is. After hearing him talk at the combine,
yeah,
it is absolutely his appearance, his accent, his Southern quarterback. That it's all of that. This happened to Daniel Jones.
You could have just said he's white.
No, but it's not just that. It's not just that. Because I feel like people don't look at Bo Nix or JJ McCarthy that way.
That's true. You're right.
Especially JJ. Nobody looks at JJ McCarthy that way.
That's true.
It's the Daniel Jones effect. Like this dude, there's no way he can run fast. Anyway, sorry to hijack your pick.
This is a predictive mock. It's what we think is going to happen.
Oh, good clarifier before we get absolutely roasted in the comments below.
They move on from Sam Howell, which very surprised Seattle gave up what they did to go get Sam Howell. I'm kind of shocked. Geno Smith's actually a good football player. I don't know. Apparently, I need to clarify.
They need a backup. Drew Lock had to play last year.
I think I'm going Jaden here.
I've been starting to lean that way, and I'm wondering if I'm just falling into the trap of what I hear at the wrong time. But I am leaning Jaden here.
I hear a lot more love. Now, look, we could say, oh, there's a lot of teams that have Jaden Daniels as QB2. There's a lot of teams that have JJ McCarthy as QB2. If the team that's picking number 2 overall doesn't have Jaden at number 2, it doesn't matter, right? They'd pick Drake May. But I think for this exercise, I'm going to go with Jaden. I think I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels at number 2.
It's what I would have done.
All right.
It's what I would have made the selection. I would have taken Drake May if I was actually GMing.
Yes. Now you have an interesting spot here with the Patriots at 3 because now we got a handful of teams that, the Giants can get aggressive after the moves that they made from free agency, getting Illuminor in there, get John Runyon in there. The Chargers, obviously, like their spot is like up for grabs. So like maybe one of those teams at 11, 12, 13 thinks they can wait. But if not, they're calling up to number 3 with the Patriots. Do you think the Patriots entertain this? Do you think they move down?
I do. I'm going to need you to be the arbitrator here. I think this is where Minnesota tries to get into.
Let's go, baby.
Now this could change. New England, their staff needs to really come together and figure out how they look at these quarterbacks. But there's not a peep to me that says so far like, hey, they're definitely taking Drake May if he's there at 3. Maybe they do.
It doesn't. That's not the vibe we're getting.
That is not the vibe we're getting.
Reading the horoscopes, it doesn't feel as though that's the direction that we're going.
So Minnesota now has...
The crystals in my room aren't giving me that
They are not. My magic 8-ball is not giving me that at all.
The magic 8-ball is dude's version of like crystals, like just
Yes.
that magic 8-ball that just, they want to know the answers right there. They don't want to have to feel it. They
Magic 8-balls for dudes. I actually need one on this desk.
You do.
I will get one. I will get one.
Hilarious bit for the pod.
I'm absolutely doing it because there's a lot of times on this podcast that I waste way too much time. And if I just had a magic 8-ball, it would be a lot easier to figure out. So in this scenario,
yes,
you're going to be the arbitrator.
Okay.
Because it would be absolute tomfoolery for me to just execute a trade between two teams with no one else involved. I could play myself, but I won't do that. So Minnesota calls.
Okay.
Presumably, Elliot Wolf picks up the phone.
Presumably.
Now, Minnesota has 11 and 23. Those picks have to be in this deal.
Yes.
Non-negotiable.
Yes.
Non-negotiable. 11 and 23 are in the deal. 4-3. I think there's got to be a sweetener.
I would agree. Yes.
I don't think that's good enough. Here's what I'll ask you. Is it too far gone, like too wild to say that the first rounder in 2025 needs to be in the deal?
Yeah, so
it feels a little heavy.
Well, that's a big question, right? If you go back 3 years ago to 2021, you go back to the 49ers trading up to number 3. They traded up to number 3, presumably to get quarterback 3 in this draft, right? We already thought the quarterbacks were going to go 1 and 2. Lawrence is going to go 1. We felt the Jets were going to go 2. So it was going to go quarterback, no matter what. They trade up before the draft and they give up 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick to get from 12 to 3 for QB3. It's a very similar situation, but I bet that Minnesota makes that trade with Houston to basically say, all right, well, we're giving you 2 first-round picks that you can like tangibly see what they're going to turn into, which is more valuable, I think, for NFL teams. They like to be able to see what their investment is going to be able to return for them. So if they like this class a lot, I think 23 and 11 is pretty powerful. The problem is that they don't have a second-round pick next year. Minnesota doesn't.
So I think I know the solution to that.
Okay.
What do you think if I do include the 2025 first rounder, but New England sends their 2025 second rounder?
Minnesota's got a lot of day 3 stuff, but so do the Patriots, I guess. I would say it'd probably be, you'd have to go a first and one of these 5th rounders right here, at least. And then you could try to get the Patriots second rounder back.
So you think...
So I think 11, 23, first rounder next year.
Yep.
A 5th rounder next year, and you're getting 3 and you're getting a second rounder from them. Man, I don't know if they do that. I bet they do a 3rd rounder, not a second rounder, though. So then at least you got 2 third-round picks.
Okay, so you think that New England's second isn't coming back in the trade, the 3rd rounder is.
And even that,
it's tricky.
And even that, I'm not sure, right? Because what reason does New England have to do the deal with you to move back to 11? That's a massive amount of spots that they are moving back when they don't have to and they need a quarterback.
They're still walking out with 3 first rounders, and they're only going from 3 to 11. There's going to be a great player of need at 11.
Look, we could do this trade. I'm curious to what people think about the compensation value.
I think also something I want to address here, because I see this in the comments and I get it. People get really, really tied up when we do the trades and the value, and we try really hard to get close. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows until you know who else is calling. If nobody's calling New England, Minnesota doesn't need to give up an insane return.
Right.
But a lot of teams probably will call New England, so they do need to give up a return that is not matched on a trade value chart.
Look, our trade chart here on PFF says this trade has a 49% chance to be accepted. So it's right there in the middle. It's basically like a coin flip.
Yeah, mine is 52% when I did the 3rd rounder going back for 2025. So for final terms, 11 and 23 go to New England this year for 3. In 2025, Minnesota does give up their first, but they get back a 3rd.
Yeah, and I threw in one of the 5th round picks too from Minnesota.
Okay.
But I mean, that doesn't matter for what we're doing here.
Okay.
Yes.
Minnesota's on the clock.
Minnesota is on the clock.
Everybody in the world is just screaming JJ McCarthy for them.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going that way. I did not just give up the farm to take JJ McCarthy. I'm taking Drake May in this spot.
All right. So you're taking Drake May at number 3.
I think Drake May's ability to throw the middle of the field in Kevin O'Connell's offense, I can't get enough of that.
Huge. I just recently wrote an article over at pff.com to kind of have the numbers to back that up, that they're going to really like both J.J. McCarthy and Drake May because of that exact reason. When you look at the Minnesota Vikings last year, the area of the field where they had the most passing attempts was between 0 to 10 yards in between the numbers.
Yep.
They had 167 pass attempts. The second hottest heat map, if you will, the most attempts it was 10 to 20 yards over the middle of the field. So the most attempted passes were between 0 to 10 yards over the middle of the field and then 10 to 20 yards over the middle of the field. This is an offense that wants to attack over the middle, and I think that they are going to prioritize Drake May or J.J. McCarthy out of anybody in this quarterback class, even over Jaden Daniels if they have the opportunity.
I agree.
To make that pick. Arizona at number 4. Whew. So Arizona moves.
Stop the pod.
Oh, no.
The Jets brought back Solomon Thomas.
Oh, dude, you can't do that to me.
All right.
You can't do that to me.
That's the only time I'll do that. It was too good to pass up.
We've had Brady unretire live on this podcast. You can't do that to me.
Put respect on former top 3 overall pick Solomon Thomas' name.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. My heart just sank. Okay, so...
That's good.
So the Cardinals are up at 4, right? Cardinals are another team that has 2 first-round picks. They've also got 27. So they trade Rondale Moore, which, by the way, baby, we called it. We absolutely called that. When we were talking about moves that the Cardinals could make, we brought up the fact that my man was out here doing cardio. You know,
right.
He was running a hit class every Sunday.
Crazy
at 1
numbers
PM.
on it.
The dude, he was out there. I think he had the most receiving snaps on the team, and yet he was like 7th on total like target percentage for the routes that he was run. My guy was out. He was a fitness instructor out there. He was trying to get you toned for summer. And now he's with the Atlanta Falcons. So I figured that because the lack of usage, they were thinking of trading him, and they traded him to the Atlanta Falcons. So Arizona's other moves, I didn't think they were that loud in free agency. No, just, a bunch of 3-year deals here. Bilal Nichols, Justin Jones, Mac Wilson. There's that Mac Wilson deal. And then the Jonah Williams. I think that's the one that is the most impactful. They move on from DJ Humphries. They signed Jonah Williams to be able to play on the right side of the line. So Paris Johnson Jr. could go to the left side of the line. I don't think Joe Alt is in play here anymore. I was leaning that direction before free agency started. Now I really do just think that it's Marvin Harrison Jr., especially with Hollywood Brown out. Rondale Moore is out. You're taking Marvin Harrison Jr., so I'm going with him at 4.
All right. Marvin Harrison Jr. to Arizona. The Chargers at 5.
They're moving out, right?
I would think, because it feels like if they do that, they can still take a wide receiver. They could take a corner. They are a very weird team with an unpredictable man at the helm right now. I mean, they cut Mike Williams, not shocking. They trade Keenan Allen for a 4th. Okay, I'm a little surprised personally. The wide receiver group does not look good on paper right now. They are going to want to run the absolute hell out of the football. There's a couple of things in play here. One, logic tells you just take Malik Neighbors, but I don't know if that's what Jim Harbaugh values here. So I'm not doing that.
Right.
2, logic also tells you if you're not going to do that, well, trade, get the most value out of this. I guess somebody can come up for McCarthy here.
Right. Or, you could get spicy and like the Giants could just jump up one spot to not get beat for the quarterback if we think the Giants are going to go up for a quarterback.
I think the Giants' best path is to stay at 6 and take Malik Neighbors.
Okay. All right. So,
and they're benefiting all this quarterback chaos in front of them that Malik falls to 6 when Malik's a top 4-3 player in this draft, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So here's the other one, and I don't think this is going to happen, but I just want to throw it into the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Would anyone be shocked if Jim Harbaugh just says, I'm going to take the whoever I think is the best mauling right tackle? Because that's how we play football. Whether it's Talisa Fuaga, J.C. Latham.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. If you're taking that at 5, it's silly.
I agree, but this is not
silly.
You're trying to You need to get inside the brain of an irrational man.
He's rad. They got a long-term plan.
Okay.
You don't got to call him irrational yet.
I mean, well, Joe Ortiz coming over from Baltimore does give you a little bit of that like balance. So let's talk trade partners, huh?
I think there's two.
Denver?
Again, I think the Giants is 6.
Okay.
Because I genuinely think the Giants are going to be aggressive. And if they have a chance to go up just one spot, not trade a ton, get J.J. McCarthy, I think they'd do it. And the other team, I guess I want to say Denver.
Right. I felt for a long time Sean Payton's like, we're going to take our guy at 12 and whatever. But
it just does not seem. I mean,
you don't
take on the biggest dead cap hit of all time just to sit here at 12.
Right. And New England's in front of you at 11, which also could take a quarterback away from you if one fell.
All right. So I was thinking the Raiders, but the Raiders have O'Connell. They've got
Gardner Minshew.
They obviously, I think, are also going to get aggressive for a quarterback, but are they going to get more aggressive than Denver? Because Denver might be sitting here and they might give you 3 first-round picks to go up to get McCarthy at number 5. Joe Ortiz ain't going to say no to that.
No, he's not. But this is a division trade, which is very...
Oh, yeah, it is.
I know. That's what makes this very convoluted.
Well, hold on. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, you set the stage. A couple years ago, he was like, no. We can all be cool here. If it benefits both teams, we could be cool. He did a couple of trades with the Lions,
not for a quarterback.
Right? That's true. Not for a quarterback.
There's always immense risk of letting a team in your division come up for their quarterback.
Man.
I know. This is really difficult right
The
here.
Saints of old, I feel like, could have moved up, but I don't think they're going to.
Right. I agree.
All right. What do you think? Raiders or Giants or anything
I don't want
else?
to trade within the division. And I don't think the Giants are coming up for a quarterback.
The Raiders are also in the division.
I know. This is really difficult.
Stupid.
This is really stupid. Really stupid.
We played ourselves here. Because I really do think that the Chargers are going to want to move back.
I do too.
They want to get more picks.
But it's not as easy as it necessarily seems, I think.
Do the Bears move up from 9? That's my ultimate wild card, right? The Bears have made all of these moves. You talked about being a pseudo NFC Bears fan, okay? Imagine this. Think about all of those names on the roster that you mentioned. DeAndre Swift, Gerald Everett with Cole Kmet. Now you got Caleb Williams. You got Keenan Allen. You got DJ Moore. Now throw in Rome Odunze. And now you just got a 3-headed monster, a Triforce, if you will. And you only got to move up from 9 to 5. Now, Chicago didn't have a lot of picks. Chicago only has, as of right now, Chicago's got 1, 9, a 3rd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick.
That's so weird.
So you'd probably have to be paying some stuff from 2025 and 2026. But Joe Ortiz might not mind.
Do they need to do that, though, Chicago?
It's not about need. Right? To quote the Joker, it's not about the money.
Oh, my God, no.
It's about sending a message.
They've done enough.
All right, fine.
I feel like I have to just stay. In this scenario, I almost have to stay.
All right. What are you doing if they say?
I'm going to go a little, off the path, I think, of what I'm going to go a little bit more what I would do here and what they should do here. They should take Malik Neighbors.
Okay. All right.
I know it took us a long time to get there, and I know we're all falling into the entrapment of Jim Harbaugh just wants to play 1940s football. But Joe Ortiz knows how to evaluate, and Neighbors is a great player at 5.
Neighbors is a very good player. Neighbors is very good. I can't fight it too much. Again, would love to hear from people in the comments what they think are all the possibilities and what they think would happen at number 5 in the scenario that we painted, or what do you think is going to happen in real life? So the Giants are up at 6 then. I think they're taking McCarthy at this point.
Okay. You've been on that.
If McCarthy is still on the board, I think they take J.J. McCarthy. And they say to themselves, we're taking McCarthy. Jones was not good enough next year. You're tied to Jones this year. You've got to start him anyways because of the contract, and you could save a bunch on the salary cap if you cut him next year. And boom, all of a sudden you got a situation where JJ was able to sit for most of the year. Maybe he'll play sometime in December, whatever. And then next year and beyond, he's your quarterback. JJ McCarthy, pick number 6.
All right, McCarthy comes off the board. 7 is easy for me. This is Joe Alt for the Titans. Get a blue chip left tackle in the Callahan run game. I mean, they got Lloyd Cushenberry at center in free agency, which bodes very well. I mean, Alt, Skoronski, Cushenberry, you can run on that left side.
Man, that Joe Alt and Peter Skoronski is a nasty left side of the offensive line.
Old
I love
school
that.
dirty.
I love that. And wide receivers, think about it too. I think they kind of overpaid a little bit for Calvin Ridley, but hey, you bring Calvin Ridley in, he's a good wide receiver. You still got DeAndre Hopkins, you got Treylon Burks. You could play Burks more in the slot where he was comfortable
power
and productive
slot.
when he was at Arkansas.
Right.
You are legitimately, you go out and you give some money to Tony Pollard. Again, I didn't love the move giving all that money to Tony Pollard because you already had Tajay Spears. But let's look at what they're doing right now. They're saying we're going to be able to evaluate Will Levis. We are putting things in front of him to where we can give him a fair evaluation of what he is as a quarterback. And I can't hate that too much. So we talked a couple of weeks ago about the Titans honing in on wide receiver, but I think all that money they gave Calvin Ridley shows, all right, we're back on the offensive line trade. Falcons up at number 8. You Kirk Cousins in hand, no longer in the quarterback market. I don't want to say that Rondale Moore and Darnell Mooney take them out of the wide receiver market, right? Rome Odunze is sitting here on the board, and it's one thing to say, nah, we're good at wide receiver, and it's another thing to stare him right in the face when you're on the clock and not take him. However, I think it's going to be one of the edge rushers. I think one of the pass rushers come off the board here. I'm torn between Dallas Turner and Jared Verse. I don't know yet, and that's going to be one of the pointed questions that I have for people who might know a little something about a little something throughout the next month and a half. Which do you think the Falcons, Raheem Morris and Terry Fontenot prefer? The explosiveness of Dallas Turner or the power of Jared Verse? Right now, I'm going to go with Dallas Turner.
Okay.
So I'm going to take Turner off the board here at number 8. They desperately need an extremely talented edge rusher. And in terms of ceiling, Dallas Turner, to me, has the highest ceiling of any edge rusher in this draft. I think they're going to love what they saw from him on tape, athletic-wise, and then reaffirming that with the combine numbers. So I got Dallas Turner going 8.
All right, 9, the Bears are on the clock.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Is it just total wild man to take Rome Odunze anyway?
No, that's what who else are you going to pick?
Right.
Who else are you going to pick?
There's not really. The only other guy I would pick.
You could pick Verse.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Who are you going to say?
We're trotting out 11 personnel with Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore. And it's kind of funny. I see a lot of in Odunze's game, Keenan Allen. So he's
just bigger, faster, younger.
Perfect player for him to be around for a year.
That's true. Oh, it's the Puka Nacua Cooper Cup effect.
100%.
Just living with the guy, just getting bunk beds, doing karate in the basement.
Rome Odunze at 9. That's why I didn't want the Bears to move. I knew they'd be fine.
Now, see, and that's why you're a wizard. You're a wizard.
Yeah, you're a wizard, Harry.
The Jets are up at 10. So Jets lose on Bryce Huff. Obviously, I'm going to lean on you a little bit here. So Jets lose.
Don't put this evil on me.
What do you mean? You cover the team.
Don't put this evil on me. I want nothing to do with this.
You signed the contract. So Morgan Moses, they bring him in, presumably to start at right tackle.
100. Yep.
They've got Javon Kinlaw. I like the Javon Kinlaw ad as well. John Simpson, they signed him at guard to be a nice piece for him there. You re-sign Chuck Clark. You bring in Isaiah Oliver also to kind of boost the back end of the cornerback room. So I like a lot of what the Jets were doing, and it didn't really change things. Like, I still think you are in the market for some sort of offensive tackle.
Yeah, they don't have a left tackle right now. And
right. And
the 3 games Bakhtiari will play is not enough.
Okay, so Bakhtiari, we assume, is just going to be on the team. But I don't think that deters you from taking an offensive tackle. We've talked about
pushes you to take one.
Well, I think we've talked about Brock Bowers in the past.
Yep.
And I'm intrigued a little bit by him here at number 10. But ultimately, Connor, I think Troy Fontanu is their man.
I'm with you on this.
I think he plays left tackle because it's either to me it's either him or Fuaga. But Fuaga's the right tackle.
You just nailed the issue with that, is that Fuaga's the right tackle, and they have 2 good guards. AVT's a really good guard. I think Simpson will fit what they want to do well enough where he's the starting left guard. So when you put it like that, they have a hole at left tackle. And you and I love Olu. I'm not sure the Jets will like Olu.
No, I think there's a lot of teams that'll be really split on him. I really do. So Troy Fautanu, one of the best athletes of this really good athlete offensive tackle class that we've got. And I think that given the fact that his arms are a lot longer than I thought they were, I think this dude could survive a tackle. And I'm drafting him here, and I'm playing him at left tackle in New York. So Troy Fautanu at number 10.
You look at Fautanu, how he grades out as a run blocker. He's good at everything. There's never an area where it's like, oh, wow, he took a big dip in that spot. He's just good at everything. But he is by far the highest graded in man blocking. And every move the Jets have made this offseason has aligned with a more gap-heavy approach. 2 guys from the Ravens, Simpson and Morgan Moses. Morgan Moses has already been a starting tackle for them. They know all about him.
Right.
Fautanu, who plays on the left side, fits exactly what they want to be and what they want to do.
I agree, man. The more I do mock drafts right now, the more I keep locking in a Fautanu at 10.
It's crazy how we've locked in on him just going earlier. I feel like, to be fair to us, we had him going to Seattle at 16 for a long time when he was a guard.
Yep.
But this guy is so good, and it really kind of took the combine for everybody to appreciate how good he is.
Yep.
Which is a big process for a
mean, it honestly, it took the combine for me to seriously talk about him as an offensive tackle, because his height, he was listed, he's just over 6'3", but he's got over 43-inch arms. Like, people, I don't think people realize this. Troy Fautanu has longer arms than Talisa Fuaga does.
That's a crazy stat.
Fuanga's got 33 and I think 1/8 inch arms.
The Fuanga is so sneaky still.
I know.
I keep forgetting.
The end. Yeah, you got to throw that in there. Talisa Fuanga. So anyways, but yeah, Fautanu has longer arms than Fuanga does. So just to give people some reference.
That's a good looking unit for the Jets too, after how bad they were last year. I mean, you go Fautanu with Bakhtiari sprinkled in maybe, but that doesn't really matter here. Simpson, Joe Tippmann, Elijah Vera-Tucker, Morgan Moses. That's a much better unit.
Mm-hmm. All right.
11, the Patriots. They moved back. And 4 of the quarterbacks are gone.
Tough scene.
It is a tough scene. But that's the game they played.
Yeah, no, they weren't going to get a quarterback moving back. I mean, you basically just have to accept that. So, right. I mean, they made a handful of free agent moves, right? They bring back Mike Onwenu, which I think was great for them as one of their offensive tackles there. They signed Sione Takitaki. They brought in Jacoby Brissett. So they're okay. You're okay at quarterback. You'd like a quarterback of the future, younger guy, but you bring in Nick Leverett as well. You get signed Austin Hooper. You re-sign Josh Uche, who, I thought Uche could have got a lot more money, and he signs a 1-year, $3 million deal with them. What a great deal for him to come back. You got Kendrick Bourne as well. Devontae Barker got released. They signed Antonio Gibson for a little nice deal. So I think it's kind of the turning over of some of the roster guys that they really didn't want on there. They franchised Kyle Duggar as well, but I think the Patriots could still go a lot of different directions here. So I don't, just because a quarterback's not here, it's not the worst thing in the world, especially since they have pick 23 and they get when's their pick in the second round? It's earlier too, isn't it?
I would imagine
34. Yeah, it's 34.
Okay.
So you got a lot of options here to pick a Michael Penix Jr. or a Bo Nix.
I know where I'm going. As much as Brock Bowers is really interesting here, I'm going to go with Olu Fashanu in this spot. They need a left tackle really badly. Really badly.
Because, Onwenu
they don't have one
tackle, but yeah,
they do not have one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could sit here and think about a player like Verse. You could, that's kind of where it stops, honestly, for me. Then I go right into the tackle class. So I'm going to go with Olu at 11. Okay.
All right. Olu Fashanu to the Patriots at number 11. Broncos at 12. Man.
Is Sean Payton just gonna take Bo Nix?
At 12?
I don't think so. I haven't heard any steam to that, but
I haven't either. All right. Well, here's the question then. If the Broncos aren't trading up, here's what they're going to do. They're going to trade back.
So who wants to come into this pick?
Well, I mean, okay, you got Brock Bowers here. You have CB1 still on the board, whoever it is. You got Byron Murphy. You got Jerzon Newton. You got Talisa Fuanga.
That's fair. I could see somebody coming up. I could definitely see somebody coming up for Fuanga, or even like Quinyon Mitchell.
Who's trading up? What's Cincinnati?
Well, think about the needs.
Does Cincinnati do that?
If I'm Cincinnati,
you chilling? You pretty cool?
Because somebody's going to fall into my lap.
If you're the Rams, you trying to get up for one of these DTs?
Maybe. Definitely a chance. I wouldn't want to sit out. If I was the Rams, I wouldn't want to sweat waiting for Newton or Murphy to fall to me. And I much prefer Newton. I know that's not popular, but I think Newton's the better prospect.
I think they trade back just with whom?
Who desperately needs what?
What about the Eagles for a corner?
It's kind of interesting if the Eagles come up and they would take Quinyon.
Philly's got 2 second-round picks.
I kind of like this direction.
So you want to do like 22 and they try to give up 53 to get up to 12. It's 10 spots.
So 22 to 12.
Do you have the draft value chart?
In 2 seconds.
Live podcasting, folks.
Yeah, the good content. So look at it like this: 22.
It's like 500. So if they give up, if they give up 50, that's close.
50, not 53.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 50. We don't need to make this more difficult
because you're only 420 points on the draft value chart away from 12 and 22. It's 420 points, and then pick 50 is literally worth 400 points.
So it's done.
So it's basically right there. All right, so Philly gets aggressive. Let's do it. So
I would think they would go Quinyon Mitchell if they made this move.
22 and 50 and 12, force the trade. Oh, shoot. Trade accepted. I don't know if it would be that straightforward, folks, but you know what? We're here. Eagles at
it's officially your pick.
I think it would be Quinyon.
Yeah.
Quinyon or Terrion Arnold, because we know how he loves SEC dudes.
That's fair. That is fair.
I'm going to go Quinyon.
Okay, I like it.
I'm going to go Quinyon Mitchell. He's too good. Too good. CB1 off the board. There we go. Raiders up.
Raiders are on the clock. To me, they really could use a right tackle. They lost the Luminor in free agency.
Oh, well, what do you know?
And what do you know? Talisa Fuanga is right there. And does any lineman like him fit the profile of what Antonio Pierce
yeah.
The Raiders' man scheme runs last year are astronomically higher than most teams when you look at it.
Really?
Actually, to be fair to Fuanga, he was a really good zone blocker too. So that's not really like a fair assessment. I think because he's like big, scary, and nasty in the run game, we just assume that but he's a really good zone blocker too.
But he's pretty nasty at zone blocking because when guys get moving, the way that he can hit these dudes with power,
right?
I mean, if they're already moving one direction, if they're not anchored themselves, I mean, some of these dudes go flying. Like he just launches these dudes in zone blocking assignments. So
Fuanga at 13.
Okay, all right, I still love him there. The Saints at 14. You know. The Saints.
Edge
is, yeah. I mean, Edge. It's basically this pick basically comes down to Verse or Amarius Mims for me.
I think that makes sense.
I don't know who they'd prioritize more. It's gonna be one of those trench players. Willie Gay came over, so he's at the linebacker level now with Demario Davis, but it was a pretty quiet free agency for them. They move on from Michael Thomas, so Michael Thomas isn't on the team anymore, but they've got Chris Olave, you got Rashid Shaheed. A.T. Perry flashed a little bit last year. It's still, to me, one of those trench players. I think I might go Mims, man.
Okay.
This is early-ish for him because there's a lot of other really good football players on the board, but like he's just dude is built in a lab.
Right. And
he's wild.
I know teams really liked him at the combine, interviewing him, just kind of getting inside the mind of somebody that needs a lot of development, but will it work out? And everybody's buying in.
All right. Let's do it.
15, the Colts. I mean, I feel like I just have to take Brock Bowers here.
Yeah, you kind of got to do it. It's the mock that did it to him, so you kind of got to do it.
This is the mock that did it to him, and Brock Bowers is the pick for the Colts at 15 that does it. So
that absolutely does it to him. You know,
how fun is this offense going to be to watch? If it's Anthony Richardson, I think a great coach in Shane Steichen, with Brock Bowers, Michael Pittman back in the fold. There's a lot to like here with all those working parts.
So this is a dumb transparency moment again for the people on the other side who are listening. You're talking about the Colts, and Seattle picks next. So I changed the depth chart to the Seattle Seahawks, but you were still talking about the Indianapolis Colts. And the first name that I saw was Tyler Lockett, and I almost yelled out, "When the hell did the Colts trade for Tyler Lockett?"
That's the kind of week it's been, to be honest.
It's absolutely the kind of week it's been. All right, Brock Bowers going 15 to the Indianapolis Colts, where Tyler Lockett is not. Where he is currently still is the Seattle Seahawks. What are the Seahawks doing here?
What do they know?
Other than Sam Howell? You know, they re-signed Leonard Williams, they re-signed Noah Fant, they let Drew Lock go, but they replaced him with Sam Howell.
You know what's funny? When you pull up their R-Lads, there is no left guard.
Is there really? Oh my gosh, there is no left guard.
There is no left guard. Are they going to play Fant at guard? He's a swing tackle. That'd be kind of weird.
That would be kind of weird. Fautanu, again, would be great here, but...
He gone.
He is indeed gone.
Indeed.
Man, who are they going to pick?
Is it too early for Graham Barton? Oh, no, you know what? I could see them taking Jackson Powers Johnson.
Oh.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I like that. I think this is within range. Because I'm trying to think, I don't know.
I don't know, Jim.
I don't know, Jim. I don't know. Maybe they go Latu, but they've got Nwosu and Boye Mafe, so I don't think
their guys are turning the corner on the edge.
Full pun intended.
There you go.
Yeah, let's do it. I think Jackson Powers Johnson makes the most sense for him. Good call out there. Yep.
Thank you.
JPJ at 16.
Jacksonville at 17.
Good luck.
So they get Mitch Morse, the upgrade from Luke Fortner at center.
Mm-hmm.
They signed Gabe Davis. They wanted Calvin Ridley back. They couldn't get him back.
Oh, you know who this is. It's bulky, dude. It's Brian Thomas Jr.
You think so? I mean, I've wanted that connection.
Brian Thomas Jr. ran a 4.33 at 209 pounds.
I know, but don't they need a corner?
No.
No?
Oh, they
signed Darby. I forgot they signed Darby.
They signed Darby. They have Tyson Campbell.
Well, Campbell's really good.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to convince me to take Brian Thomas Jr. Let me make this abundantly clear.
I guess they do need corner a little more than I thought.
But is Gabe Davis in that role? I'm going to take Terrion Arnold here.
I didn't realize that Darius Williams is gone.
Yeah, he left. I'm going to go with Terrion Arnold.
All right, that's fine. That's fine, too. I don't hate it. Terrion Arnold, the corner from Alabama. Yeah, I guess they need that more than I thought. The Bengals now on the board at 18.
I think you know the pick.
What'd you say?
I feel like you know this one pretty quickly.
So Cincinnati lost DJ Reader.
Right.
Lost him to the Lions, which, by the way,
good God,
Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader
bringing the beef.
we're playing some football, brother.
Yeah,
we're playing some football up in Detroit.
That's Citrial's, the pork store in Sopranos. That's what that is right there.
Now they brought in Sheldon Rankins, so they're not starving. They move on from Mixon, but they bring in Zach Moss. They get Geno Stone, who I really love that move. That was one of my favorite free agent moves, honestly, was Geno Stone. You're franchising T. Higgins, but they could trade T. Higgins still. I guess I'll operate with him being on the team.
I would.
Von Bell, another safety that they brought in. They signed Mike Gesicki. So what? I mean, do we just think it's one of like Newton or Byron Murphy still? Is that where you'd go?
I was actually thinking it'll be J.C. Latham.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Now, Mekhi Becton, I think, is visiting there, but I wouldn't rely on Becton for 17 games.
I visited Cincinnati too.
Yeah, you frequent Cincinnati.
Gosh, I didn't play right tackle. Yeah. No, because you can't depend on Becton either. Yeah, J.C. Latham, this is the pick.
Okay.
Was absolutely the pick.
I knew that was a trick question because you would think my brain would go to Newton, but it was not.
Yeah, no, it was. You
19 the Rams. Speaking of,
didn't appreciate it.
Johnny Newton, step on down. You're the new Aaron Donald. Good luck.
No, stop. Don't do that. Don't do that to the show. Do not do that to the show. We've got some good momentum
Quote
going.
Card.
People seem to be enjoying it.
Quote card. The new Aaron Donald at pick 19. No, Johnny Newton's awesome, man. I actually think this is great value for him. I think he's one of the best defensive players in the draft.
Yep.
And I think for the Rams, this clearly has become a need.
Yep, I agree with you. I do agree with you. Steelers up at number 20. All of a sudden, big wide receiver need for this team.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, funny how that works. I mean, is this...
Will they let Russell Wilson throw to any of them?
Legally?
What a team of villains. Arthur Smith, Russell Wilson.
Oh my God, I forgot Arthur Smith.
How could you?
How could I not?
Oh man. It's gonna be something.
So they got George Pickens. They have Des Fitzpatrick. They have Calvin Austin III. They've got Freiermuth. They also have Darnell Washington.
They have pick 51.
They have what?
Pick 51. Prime day 2 receiver range.
Yes. That's a good shout out. They brought in Patrick Queen. They brought in Dante Jackson as well. No, this is still corner for me.
That's where I was kind of trying to, lean.
You got to let me get there on my own.
I really do.
I don't think they're gonna. You gotta let me talk it out. You gotta let me feel my feelings. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think the league just in general is gonna be as high on Nate Wiggins.
I could see that
because he's so light, man.
I could see that.
I think they're going to Gene. Tackle.
That's a fun one.
He can tackle.
And
it's either DeJean or
Kool-Aid.
I would
take Kool-Aid this
They'd like Kool-Aid, but I don't think they like him over Cooper DeJean.
Keep Cooper DeJean in black and gold.
Yeah, I already picked him. It's a done deal.
The Dolphins at 21. This team has gotten ravaged in free agency. They've gotten some good flyer deals. I like Shaq Barrett.
Yeah,
going there. Jordan Poyer going there.
Yep.
They bring in
Robert Hunt was tough.
Losing Robert Hunt is tough. Aaron Brewer is signed to play center. They still need big time help on the interior of the offensive line. I am going to take Graham Barton in this spot.
Oh, you son of a gun.
Yep, he did it.
Yeah.
Because Barton can play wherever they need him to, but he will start at guard, I believe, in this situation.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
I feel like I'm having a good draft, and I don't say that.
You are.
Often.
No, you're on a
I don't say that often.
No, you're absolutely. You're
Sometimes I don't just have it for 2 rounds. I'm swimming upstream, but the coffee worked today.
The man's on an absolute heater. So now the Broncos are up. So the Broncos now have, with that trade back, 22, and then what's the other one? 50?
Right.
Is this Knicks?
It very well could be.
It feels really weird to pick Knicks with the amount of talent that's still here. Like, Verse is still on the board, Latu's still on the board, Byron Murphy II still on the board. All these guys are still here.
Yeah.
But I do genuinely think that Sean Payton would love Bo Nix. I don't know if you could wait till 50 to get him.
No, you probably can't. And teams usually don't operate that way where they're waiting that long.
I'm so torn. Because I think Jared Verse is also like a guy Payton would love.
Right. Yeah, Verse would be awesome there.
I'm going to pick Verse. I'm going to pick Verse, and we're going to roll the dice. We're going to see who's there in the second round.
All right, New England's on the clock at 23. They have a lot more ammo because of the trade.
Mm-hmm.
They got Olu Fashanu at 11.
They did.
Jacoby Brissett will be the starting quarterback.
In theory.
I'm going to go with Penix here.
Okay. I wondered if that's where you were going.
Yeah, I think, number one, sitting behind Jacoby is really good for him. Rebuilding that offensive line is really savvy, so he's not walking into a situation where that's a huge question. Mm-hmm. And New England brought back Kendrick Bourne, but they pick at 34, where I feel really good about wide receiver at 34.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Dallas is up at 24. A lot of people were complaining about Dallas not really making any moves at all. The only signing that I think they have is Eric Kendricks. The rest of them are re-signs.
Right.
They lost Armstrong along the defensive line. Look, Tyron Smith is a Dallas Cowboy until he's not, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards him staying. I am.
Oh, whoa.
What?
We got a little trade in the middle of this podcast. And this isn't a fake, oh, whoa. The Eagles traded for Kenny Pickett. Yeah, I did not see this coming at all.
A what round pick?
It's a pick swap. We don't have the exact... Okay, here we go. Jonathan Jones has the details. The Eagles are sending a 2024 third rounder to the Steelers for a 2024 fourth rounder and two 2025 seventh rounders.
Okay, so it's basically...
Kenny Pickett got given away almost.
Kenny Pickett for a third, fourth round pick swap.
Right.
Dude, they hate this guy.
Yeah, that's...
Why would the Eagles do this?
I thought the Eagles were going to trade for this kind of deal for Fields.
Right.
Boy, where's Justin Fields playing football? This is the last team I had written down as what made sense. Anyway, not to totally...
what if Justin Fields goes to the Steelers now?
That's interesting. Opening the door to bring in Fields behind Russ.
Right.
All right. Well, to be continued.
All right, Kenny Pickett, member of the Philadelphia Eagles. Incredible. All right, so the Dallas Cowboys.
South Jersey guy, by the way, so kind of a little mini homecoming-ish.
Little mini homecoming-ish.
Because then people will yell at me and say South Jersey's not Philly, and I get it, and it's a whole can of worms I'm about to open up, so I'm going to shut up.
Oh, you just did?
Yeah. Pork roll Taylor ham kind of can of worms.
It's Taylor ham.
Damn right it is.
All right, so look, if Tyron Smith comes back, then you're kicking Tyler Smith back inside, so you're okay there. You still need a center. You could pick not Zach Martin. Zach Frazier.
It'd be cool if you could pick Zach Martin again.
You would. You would.
Absolutely would do that.
Well, I wonder if they'd want Byron Murphy, though. Murphy's still sitting here.
Right.
I wonder if that's the better pick for them. I'm looking at their roster, and it's basically just like, okay, play better.
They are absolutely the kings of like just play better.
Yeah,
in bigger moments.
I mean, you're right. That's the thing, is that regular season they're great, but
right.
I think they'd go Byron Murphy. Texas dude, staying home, getting to play for Dallas. I'm gonna go Byron Murphy here.
Okay,
that's kind of a tough one, but I still think
it's a lot more fun.
All right.
Oh, the Packers, the bane of our existence. Well,
good point.
Yeah, right.
freezes.
I don't know. Tyler Guyton is where I lean. But then you're playing a little offensive line Tetris here. Because if Zach Tom is playing right tackle, Guyton can flip over.
Oh, to play left tackle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that worried about it.
I'm going to take Guyton. The Packers...
don't they kind of like Rasheed Walker, though?
That's what I don't understand here. I know Bakhtiari didn't factor into their plans after they cut him.
No, definitely not. They brought in McKinney. They brought in Josh Jacobs.
The secondary looks good. I know they need another safety, but I don't know if I want to just take Newbin here. That feels like just going just for
that does
need.
Feel rich.
It feels like going for a need.
Yeah, I mean, I would say either Jordan Morgan or Tyler Guyton.
I'm going to take Guyton. Green Bay fans, roast away. I mean, we're Teflon to it at this point. I really like Guyton as a multiple prospect for both sides of the line.
Yeah, okay. All right. So you're going Guyton there. Bucks are on the clock at 26. I mean, they trade Carlton Davis, and so their CB1 right now is Jamel Dean, and then it's just no one.
Hey, don't disrespect Bryce Hall.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's right. They signed Bryce Hall. They like Zion McCollum, I guess, a lot.
Okay,
which is fine. I mean, he's a really athletic dude. It's just, I guess they're going to give him the chance next year. He could still use interior offensive line. Maybe they would pick Zach Frazier. I don't think they'd pick Zach Frazier, though. I think it's just a little early for him.
Yeah.
They love Graham Barton.
He went early in this one.
He did go early. Oh, wait a second. Latu's here. I'm a giant idiot.
I totally forgot about him.
Huge idiot. I'm the largest idiot. Latu.
I totally forgot 26. About him.
Wow. What a steal.
That's good. That's good business right there.
That is.
So the Cardinals, it feels like need a defensive line almost, in a sense. I know they've made multiple moves, but it's an area where they can still draft, in my opinion. The interior of their offensive line to me is still a question mark.
Yeah, they brought in some new guys.
I don't really love how the board fell in that area here. This is the first really tough situation I've had.
I'd still go like Kool-Aid or Nate Wiggins or something like.
Right, get a corner to add to that group because they're pretty young there. So they signed Sean Murphy-Bunting.
Yeah.
And then it'll kind of be wide open. They also have Garrett Williams, obviously, out there who will probably play their nickel.
Right.
Yeah, they got to take a corner. They have to take one of these
outside corner. Like you could take honestly, like Kool-Aid. The discussion between Nate Wiggins and Kool-Aid are kind of the same. They're not the same prospect. Wiggins is a lot faster, but the negative on both of those guys is like, okay, are they physical enough for you?
Right.
Like, are you cool with that?
Right. I'm going to take Kool-Aid here. I think there's I like Wiggins' ceiling a lot more, but I like the floor of Kool-Aid.
Okay. All right. Bill's on the clock at 28. Brian Thomas Jr. is still here.
Oh my God.
So
what a great.
Congrats. You win.
Right.
It's over. It's Brian Thomas Jr. or A.D. Mitchell for me. And I think the league's going to be higher on Brian Thomas Jr. I think they like both these guys. I think they're first round caliber players, but Brian Thomas Jr. to me, after the combine performance, I feel like he's just elevated. So I got him going 28 to the Bills.
The Lions at 29. I think they're another team that could still use a corner. I mean, they got Carlton Davis.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Now they also got Amik Robertson. They might have just bought their corner issue away.
And here's the thing: they won't pick Nate Wiggins.
That's not.
They will not pick.
That's
Nate
not
Wiggins.
A fit for them. I actually think a closer fit would be like Lassiter for them, but I wouldn't take him here.
Or Rakestraw, honestly.
You know what's in play too? Taking Frazier and playing him at guard.
Oh, Frazier could be their type.
I'm going to take Frazier. Oh. I love Frank Ragnow. Oh. Having these guys play to get next to each other, that would be my play.
What's Frazier's measurables? Looking it up on the show, live on the show. Zach Frazier's measurables: 6'3", 313 pounds. All right.
Dude, they love the absolute units in the middle of their offensive line.
I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all.
All right.
I mean, because they brought in Marcus Davenport. They got in Carlton Davis. They brought in DJ Reader. So they made two additions to the defensive line.
They spent on defense.
They did spend on defense.
Which is good.
All right, let's do it. Let's go get the... All right,
lost Jonah Jackson.
Good football player. Zach Frazier going to the Lions at 29. Ravens at 30. God, what are the Ravens going to do?
They're missing two starting guards right now. Simpson went to the Jets. That's okay.
You just took one, so thanks.
Yep. And then Zeitler's still out there. I feel like Zeitler returning makes sense.
I think.
And then they traded Morgan Moses, so Falele is their right tackle.
Right. I think they could be okay with that. Or do they hate him? I feel like I don't.
No, I would imagine you don't trade Morgan Moses, who's a very capable right tackle,
if you're not comfortable.
Right. They always have a plan when replacing these kinds of guys for like 30 years now.
Morgan's the one that I think of.
Clowney's a free agent.
Oh, didn't I just read somewhere that who was it? I think it might have been Tony Pauline's report for Morgan's pro day that the Ravens. Hold on, let me look this up. That the Ravens like put him under like a private workout. Yes.
Okay.
Morgan basically had 3 private workouts rather than 1 pro day. The New York Jets first put Morgan through an array of drills, followed by the Baltimore Ravens and then the Dallas Cowboys. The Ravens stepped up again and ran Morgan through a bunch of team drills. Feedback on Morgan was all good, and teams are convinced that he can hold down a tackle spot in the NFL. I'm going Jordan Morgan.
Jordan Morgan, I like it.
Because he can play tackle or guard for him.
Right. I think
and
I don't think
you're doing that kind of work with somebody if you're not really interested in him. So
31 Niners. The Niners are weird right now. There's all kinds of weird rumors going around. I don't really believe them with their wide receivers. I don't know why you would trade those guys. I will stand by. They could still use some offensive line help, but that run has been absolutely bananas in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like we're literally at the Kingsley Suamataia point at pick 31,
which I could, but
oh god,
I do think it's rich. I think it's
no,
rich.
No, you're right though. You never know. It feels rich is the word I would use. Could they use a corner? You think in this spot?
Yeah,
Wiggins is good value here.
Wiggins is really good. Wiggins is really good value. Again, it's just like are they worried about the tackling part of it? Which I mean, he's so talented though. He's so fast. He's so athletic.
I'm going to take Wiggins. I think the talent is way too much to pass up at 31.
Team speed on defense, man.
Yeah. I'm
fine with me.
He's got great length. Think about what the guys they look for in this system. Wiggins, you got to make sure he's locked in, but that fits the bill.
He's locked in. Kansas City Chiefs. So they signed Marquise Brown. They have Rashee Rice. Justin Watson's the other receiver. They still have Kadarius Toney. They still have Sky Moore. Man, what if they drafted A.D. Mitchell? God, that'd be terrifying.
It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Brought back Drew Tranquil. They lost Willie Gay, but they still have Nick Bolton as well. They're probably going to move on from L'Jarius Sneed, but is there a corner that maybe TJ Tampa. Has Tampa run at his pro day yet?
I don't think so.
Oh, they love corners who could tackle too. They love Rakestraw.
That's very true.
I think they'd love Ennis Rakestraw Jr.
They would know him well in Missouri. They've drafted local before. I say local, but you know what I mean.
His Rakestraw's combine was bad, right?
I'm out on the Rakestraw train, but I know he's going earlier than I will have him projected.
All right, hold on here. Okay, he ran a 4.51, which isn't great, but like Terrion Arnold was barely faster, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I'm just talking about everything combined. Rakestraw was hurt, multiple years. He's really slender. He's 183 pounds.
All right, don't talk about myself.
Yeah, like I'm absolutely going too far right now.
10-foot broad jump. Man.
They also need a tackle. Maybe they get Tyron though.
Yeah, but who's left? I don't think the Tyron's going to leave Dallas.
The thing that makes the most sense is him going back to Dallas.
Yes. They also could. All right, hold on. I'm looking at the Chiefs depth chart here. Wanya Morris. All right. You got Juwan Taylor. Do they take Kingsley Suamatia?
That's why I was bringing up. Like, they could just take a tackle.
I'm so torn between Suamatia, A.D. Mitchell, and Ennis Rakestraw Jr. I'm going Ennis Rakestraw Jr. I don't care what you say to me.
He doesn't care. Nothing can hurt him.
I don't care what you say to me.
All right, round 2.
The Chiefs are going to love him, all right? They're going to love him. He's their type of corner.
I'm not arguing.
Before we get to round 2, got to shout out our friends over at Fabric from Gerber Life. If you got a family out there, you got to go get them life insurance to protect them. Plain and simple. One of the smartest financial decisions that you could ever make. And the start of the new year, well, I guess it's not new year anymore. New league year is what I should say. It's a perfect time to get it done. So you can focus on whatever else the year has in store for you, like draft season. There we go. Fabric was designed by parents for parents to get you high quality, surprisingly affordable term life insurance policies in less than 10 minutes. They got flexible policies that'll fit your family's budget with quality policies like $1 million coverage for less than $1 a day. You can get your personalized quote in just minutes and apply whenever it is convenient for you, all online to your schedule. You go from start to covered in less than 10 minutes with no health exam required, people. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to protect their family today. Apply today in just minutes. And meet fabric.com/stock exchange. That's MEET, fabric.com/stock exchange. Policies are issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company. Not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions. While I'm here, I'll also shout out the mock draft simulator, which you guys can see on the screen. Use promo code 30MDS to get 30% off any PFF subscription so you can get the fully unlocked mock draft simulator experience to do all the trades that we're doing, get the 7 rounds, all the good stuff. All right, we're going full second round. We're speeding it up a little bit here.
Right. Chop Robinson for me to the Panthers at 33.
Ooh.
They need an athletic edge rusher. They pick again at 39, which makes me feel better that a wide receiver or someone I like will be there. Take Chop at 33.
Damn, look at you. Okay, all right. Patriots at 34, so they've already got Olu Fashanu and Michael Penix Jr. in hand. Probably A.D. Mitchell.
That makes a ton of sense.
A.D. Mitchell spot. Yeah. Getting A.D. Mitchell off the board right here. Ooh, what a little haul that the Patriots have there.
That was nicely done. Arizona, they have gotten Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kool-Aid McKinstry so far.
Mm-hmm.
2 key spots for them. I think it's a little early to take one of the guards here. I'm going to add to their front.
Okay.
Get a little... Oh, man, I'm kind of torn between Darius Robinson and Chris Braswell here. And even Braden Fisk, honestly.
Dude, I bet Braden Fisk.
I kind of like Fisk the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with Fisk. Get a little bit of a hard-nosed game wrecker in the middle.
Dude, just absolutely lightning quick.
Yeah, they need a guy like that in the middle of the field.
They absolutely need a guy like that in the middle, no question about it. Washington went with Jaden Daniels, number 2. I almost forgot because we've done so many of these. 36. I mean, I think they need a left tackle. Kingsley Suamatia. I think he's probably the guy that you bet on here. So they need an offensive tackle prospect, and Suamatia is somebody who has a very high ceiling. Still a ways to go, but I think that he really improved this past season. So former 5-star guy. I love the way he moves. Suamatia at 36 to Washington.
The Chargers got Malik Neighbors at 5. They can definitely use some more help on this defense. I think when you look at it, I want to look at their depth chart one more time because I know there's been some moving pieces here.
One more time. I'm going to celebrate.
I just had to let you kind of go there.
Hang me out to dry. Thanks. Appreciate it.
I wanted to let you go. It was really good. It was really good. Thanks. The chalk move would be to take San Ristil or Chris Jenkins here. I'm not going to do that because of Harbaugh, Michigan, all that. I am going to go, I think, with TJ Tampa in this spot. It was between him and Kamari Laster for an outside corner.
I
like Tampa's athleticism better than anybody else in the board.
Yeah. Did Tampa have his pro day yet?
No, we were just talking about that. I don't think he ran yet.
Deja vu.
By the way, part of the reason Kenny Pickett was traded for behavior reasons. Jerry Dulac said the Steelers made the move because of the way Pickett was poorly handling the arrival of Russell Wilson. That came on the heels of Pickett's behavior last season when he refused to dress as the emergency third quarterback in Seattle in Week 17. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah. Kenny Pickett, the bad boy of football.
Damn. I mean, he's got the long hair. Just throw a two pick and a leather jacket on that dude.
Yep.
It's all right there for him. Tennessee Titans, we went with Joe Alt for them in the first round. I think they're going to double dip on offensive line. Defensive line, they got Harold Landry. They got Jeffrey Simmons. I think this could be a Darius Robinson situation. Although they did emphasize like team speed. I wonder if that means that they won't be interested in Robinson just because he's like a bigger dude, not nearly as, I don't want to say explosive, but I just mean like overall, like the 40 times way lower than you think for normal edge rushers. It's basically like Darius Robinson or Chris Braswell to me. Right. Which one do I think the Titans are going to be more in on? Man. They've got him listed as they're playing a 3-4. And if that's the case, they got Arden Key as well. No, let's go Darius Robinson. I'll go Robinson here. He could play inside out. I think he's got a lot of versatility that they like. So Robinson to the Titans at 38.
The Panthers, I'm going to take Troy Franklin. I love getting some speed in this offense. That's why I didn't take him at 33. I had a feeling one of him or Mitchell would fall to me. You got Deontay Johnson, Thielen. They can get open. Now you need somebody that can stretch the field. Franklin does that.
Yeah, all right. So Washington now on the clock. We had Jaden Daniels up at the top. Kingsley Sumatia after that. Could use a younger edge rusher. Like they could use a guy like Chris Braswell. They brought a lot of guys in though. They've got Cleveland Farrell. They've got Dorrance Armstrong. They got Dante Fowler Jr. But
none of those are long-term plays though.
Juice. Ooh. They have Jeremy Chin, but he's kind of like a versatile guy. They lost Cam Curl to the Rams.
They did.
What about a little Tyler Nubin action?
The thing is, they also drafted a safety last year from Illinois. Why am I forgetting his name? I liked him a lot.
Quan Martin, but he plays slot for them.
Slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, this does make sense.
Okay. I'm going to go Nubin. I'm going to go Tyler Nubin here.
Nubin comes off the board to the Commanders.
Yes.
He was in play for me at the Packers' first-round pick.
He was. Get absolutely smoked.
Get wrecked. Green Bay back on the clock. They took Tyler Guyton in the first round. Man, this is interesting here.
Oh, this is a Peyton Wilson area.
It is.
You go Peyton Wilson here. They
cut Campbell. They do love those long athletic linebackers. I'm fine with their weapons. Although I would say one more. I would say one more receiver. This is kind of interesting. When do they pick again? They always pick Green Bay.
There's another 58. One. I think. Yeah,
that's your problem. That is absolutely your problem.
You're ready to learn 58, buddy.
Yeah. Get ready to learn Packers thresholds, buddy. Oh, too good.
I had to have them like 8 times in the 3-round.
You got
crushed. Hey, shout out to Packers fans who watch the show and listen. They commented and everything. They're like, "Oh, you guys are panicking, but you did a good job, so we appreciate it. Thanks."
Well, hopefully they feel the same way. I'm going to take Peyton Wilson in this spot.
Okay, all right.
Speed in the middle of the field.
I love Peyton Wilson.
Yeah, him and Quay.
I do like that. All right, Houston Texans up at 42. Who do we have them taking?
No one.
They don't have a
first round pick anymore.
We didn't have anybody. Because they're picking now twice in the second round. Wow, look at this. All right. So Houston on the clock for the first time. Man, they got a lot of they got a lot of guys to like. They really do. I like the receiver room. They could add another receiver. Interior defensive line is also an area where I think they could they could upgrade. They've got the edge rushers figured out.
Oh, do they ever?
Yeah. What's the interior? Oh,
Chris Jenkins.
Ooh, Chris Jenkins. I wonder if Tavondre Sweat goes this high. Do you think he does?
The golden questions of the draft right now.
Texas dude. Yeah, I wonder if D'Amico Ryans just looks at Sweat and just goes, "Man, game changer on the inside."
Right. I'm going to rotate him, keep him fresh.
Yeah. Unique football player, right?
Very.
All right, we're going Sweat. We're going Tavondre Sweat here.
All right, Sweat comes off the board.
Yep.
The Falcons at 43. I think they could use some more help up front, even. I know you had them taking Dallas Turner, which gives them kind of a chess piece in the front seven. I think they could use some more beef. I want to also see what they have at corner. I don't hate their corner situation. They could use one more outside corner. They have Clark Phillips, who is small but plays the outside. AJ Terrell, who's great. I'm actually going to take Lassiter here. I think the value is too good on that.
Okay. Do you see his 40?
How slow was it?
Like 4.61.
No, was it that bad? Why am I surprised, honestly?
Yeah.
And that was a pro day 40, wasn't it?
That was a pro day 40.
That's going to hurt him. There's no way around it.
Because he didn't run at Combine, did he?
No, he didn't. He did not run at the Combine. So now this is the problem with pro day 40s. And this isn't hating on anyone. Because we love both of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Field Yates had 4 NFL personnel in attendance that said it was between a 4.5 and a 4.51. Dane Brugler, from a scout there, 4.63 and 4.61. That's not even remotely close.
No.
Well, like 4.5 to me, great. For Kamari Lassiter, all day.
Right.
4.63, I'm like, oh boy.
I don't think he's the fastest corner in the world.
Not.
Really
No, he's not. He's all technique, instincts.
He does not play like that.
Man, that is. I don't want to kill a guy because of 140 time.
Sure.
But for a corner, let me tell you, folks, it means something.
Man, they got Mike Hughes for the nickel. They got Clark Phillips on the outside, AJ Terrell on the outside. Dude, if you have Kamari Lassiter opposite AJ Terrell, I think you're fine.
I agree. I'm going to take I like the player. I've never been first round for Kamari Lassiter, but 43 and a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be fine there. That dude's intense, too. He was somebody I got to talk to, and I asked some of his teammates about practicing against him. Like, different kind of cat in terms of the intensity he'll bring.
All right. I like it. Raiders are up at 44. So we had the Raiders taking Talisa Fuanga at number 13. Bo Nix is still on the board. I think this is the Bo Nix pick.
Okay.
I think this is where we get him off the board. It puts you're now in an interesting spot of like, you got 3 quarterbacks on the roster.
Yep.
I don't know if you're trading Aiden O'Connell or not, but
I'd roster all 3 of them because honestly, Gardner's kind of a wild man in terms of his play style. Like you could get hit with an injury. I would keep all 3 of them.
Yeah, because I wondered if we miss an opportunity here because we don't often think about trading up in the second round when we're doing these exercises. And I wonder, Denver's sitting there at 50. They probably would have paid whatever they needed to jump in front of the Raiders to get a quarterback to draft Nix. Because I like that situation a lot better. Let me look at the Raiders roster again. Just see if there's anything that I'm really missing. No, I don't really think so. I don't think there's anything that I'm missing here. I think I just have to go with Bo Nix.
I think you do too. That's the draft, man. Like, not everything lines up.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Bo Nix. All right, 44 to the Raiders. I threw it out there. I think that the Broncos could be the team to trade up, but didn't happen this time.
The Saints at 45, you had them take Amarius Mims in the first round. I'm going to go with Chris Braswell here. Get them an edge rusher. So it could go either way. Tackle or edge at the first round, flip it for the second.
Yeah, easy. Indianapolis Colts, they brought back Kenny Moore, correct?
They did on a really good deal. He's a great player.
Yeah, great football player. So, I mean, they could go with an outside corner because I like a lot of the slot guys that are left, but I don't really love a lot of the outside corners that are left. I think we got a lot of those dudes. Like, I think this is too early for Kyrie Jackson. God, where else could Indianapolis go? I feel like we often just go corner and tight end. They get Brock Bowers in the first round.
Let's see.
They're pretty solid along the offensive line.
Very solid team. They are. I guess they could.
Ooh. Xavier Worthy.
Oh, okay. Some speed.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there are wide receivers that I like more than Xavier Worthy, but for them,
field stretcher.
It's like, yeah, it's Worthy, and you've got Anthony Richardson's arm. I'm going Xavier Worthy at 46.
Okay. The Giants at 47. You had them taking J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, just me personally.
Just you. I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
They need a wide receiver. Preferably somebody that can, kind of hold up outside. I think I'm going to have them go Roman Wilson here.
Okay.
I like the play.
Small receiving core, but
this is the issue here. The best, you have Ladd McConkey and Ricky Pearsall, who I love. I actually like them better than Roman Wilson. I mean, the next big guy is Keon Coleman.
Yeah.
Which is in the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I don't think that's impossible.
Yeah. With Darren Waller actually potentially retiring, they need some size in the pass catcher group. I'm going to go with Keon Coleman. I am going to switch that.
Okay.
I have questions about Keon separating, but the Giants need size at the position, and he's a real above-the-rim threat that they've been missing.
We had Jacksonville going with
corner
Terrion Arnold in the first round. Man, I could even have them going corner again because there's a lot of slot corners that I really like. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to go wide receiver instead. I think I'll go Ladd McConkey here.
Okay. That's fun.
That makes the most sense to me. I've talked about Ladd McConkey as like a really good fit for Jacksonville. I just don't ever think that he gets to 48, but in this situation he does.
Right,
so
somebody's got
to
to
have Ladd McConkey here. Yeah.
So the Bengals signed Gesicki to a 1-year deal at tight end, but I think their long-term answer can still be Jatavion Sanders. So,
I mean, yeah, it's a one-year
deal. Flyer deal. Gesicki is a guy that never really consistent. I think you still draft at that spot.
Okay. All right. So Jatavion Sanders then going off the board at 49. Broncos at 50. Broncos, we had them trading back with Philly. So at 22, I gave them Jared Verse. They're still looking for a quarterback. They could also go corner. There's not really an outside corner that I'd pick here for them. I mean, I don't know. Do I force it? Like, do I go Spencer Rattler?
It does feel a little forced, but he very well could go in the second round.
I think so too. They almost just like have to take a flyer on somebody at this point.
Right.
I feel bad, but again, it's like a situation where there's only so many quarterbacks.
Right. That's how it goes.
I'm going to go Spencer Rattler at 50. I genuinely think that the NFL, I agree with you. I think that this is the start of like Spencer Rattler range.
Yeah.
I think the NFL could very well draft this guy in the second round. I do believe that.
All right. So you went with Rattler?
Yep.
For the Steelers, I'm going to go Ricky Pearsall. They traded Deontay Johnson. They need a guy that could separate. That's what Pearsall could do. He could fill Deontay's role right away.
Okay. Rams. Who we have him taking? Newton?
Johnny Newton.
The next Aaron Donald?
The next Aaron Donald. You heard it here first.
Yeah. The next Aaron Donald. Oh, okay. So Darius Williams went to the Rams. Okay. And they got Cam Curl. Nice. I actually kind of like this. Ooh, I still think they could definitely go corner. They could definitely get another corner here. Ooh, I think we go Mikey Samerstill. Good football player. I'm going Samerstill here.
Love Samerstill. And that's definitely an area of need for them. All right, the Eagles now, they got some depth at their wide receiver position by adding Devontae Parker. I still think they need a young guy in that area. They got Quinyon Mitchell in the trade up in the first round. Man, I like Jalen Polk in this spot. I think he just has a little different play style to what they already have when they trot out 11 personnel.
All right. So you're going with Polk?
Polk to the Eagles.
All right, Polk to the Eagles. Good. Get Kenny Pickett a weapon. That's good. That's smart.
Build around Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I mean, you
don't want him to refuse to suit up.
Yeah, you have to. You have to build around Kenny Pickett. Fully healthy, the Cleveland Browns, pretty stacked team, honestly. Brought in Jordan Hicks, brought in Devin Bush as well. You have Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, so you're making up for the linebackers that you lost. Defensive line's pretty stacked. You brought back Darius Smith. Myles Garrett's obviously an animal. Man, your secondary is, you probably got the best cornerback trio in the NFL. Oh, man, who they taking it? Roman Wilson? Maybe.
Although they traded for Judy.
No, I know, but like, who else do you draft?
They are in a little bit of an FU pick kind of spot.
Right. They have
good living.
And it's like David Bell, I don't think is athletic enough to
Chris
play
Jenkins, right? That's the name that jumps to me.
I guess, but
I don't love their interior.
Okay, they have Shelby Harris, they have Dalvin Tomlinson, they signed Quentin Jefferson.
I do like QJ as a rotation guy.
They've got Maurice Hurst, and they have Siaki Ika on the team.
Man, I forgot about Siaki Ika.
Right. I don't think that they would do that.
Interesting.
I think they still need that long field stretcher. Judy could be that guy, but I like Judy more when he's like a slot.
Right.
I'm going to go Tez Walker. I know we do this a lot, but I still think it makes sense.
It's okay. It's the reason we do it a lot.
Yeah.
The Dolphins in the first round, I had them taking Graham Barton, who's going to play one of the guard spots. Dolphins have once again lost a lot of players in free agency. They still have a lot of talent. Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips are both coming off season-ending injuries. That's why they got Shaq Barrett there. Just part of me that's thinking like, okay, you might need Jonah Ellis, but you also don't want to be drafting with an idea the first 2 months of the season. That's not really that smart.
Right. No, that's a good point. That is a good point.
Then there's part of me that's thinking, do they just go O-line again? But I don't really love in this spot the guys that fit with them, right? Like Mason McCormick fits.
I think it's early for McCormick.
That's what I'm saying. Like McCormick to the Dolphins is the guy that fits out of all the guys on the board here. I don't think 55 is the spot. This is pretty tough. So ultimately, I like Jonnu Smith there as a bridge tight end. I think that was a good move. They did lose Christian Wilkins, so I'm going to take Chris Jenkins.
Okay. All right. I think that's a solid pick. I think it's a really solid pick for him. Dallas Cowboys are up at 56. I gave him Byron Murphy the second, the defensive tackle from Texas in the first round. I think I'm going to give him Roman Wilson here.
That's a fun landing spot.
Because Brandon Cooks not getting any younger. Michael Gallup not exactly playing to the super high level he was at before injury. CeeDee Lamb's a stud. But Roman Wilson's just a really good football player. Man, or shoot. Would they draft Jonathan Brooks? They don't have a running back. They do not have a running back.
This is the running back pick.
Yeah. I think this is Jonathan Brooks, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, Jonathan Brooks going off the board at 56.
The Bucs at 57, they got Laiatu Latu in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Is this an area where they look at what the corner board has left? It's a little early. Maybe the only guy that I like here that's left is Max Melton. It's a little early though. It's early.
It is. I think they'd take Christian Haynes.
Okay, then sign me up.
Okay.
I love Christian Haynes.
Yeah, I think they'd take Christian Haynes.
Christian Haynes at 57.
Okay. Who'd you have the Packers take?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would actually.
Peyton Wilson.
Okay, so Tyler Guyton in the first round, Peyton Wilson.
Very athletic draft so far.
In the second, we get another pick here. Did I say that A.J. Dillon might re-sign with the Packers, or was that a troll account?
Hopefully.
I can never tell.
For all our sakes.
Elon's America. I can't tell anymore.
Elon's America.
They could definitely use another safety. Who we got at safety? I guess everybody, right? Oh, Jaden Hicks.
High flyer.
I like Jaden Hicks. Man, Hicks and McKinney's fun to me. You already got them the linebacker. You got them an offensive tackle. A.J. Dillon's coming back.
Yeah.
He's coming back. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, I'm going to go Jaden Hicks here. The Washington State Safety, who I'm a big fan of, man. A really high IQ dude. I thought he's played really good football over the last 2 years. Good call-outs pre-snap. Good anticipation. I think he's a really good football player. I like this for the Packers at 58.
The Texans at 42, they got T'Vondre Sweat. At 59, I'm going to look wide receiver here.
Mm-hmm.
Love that Tank Dell will be back. Nico Collins. It's obviously an exciting duo. They brought Noah Brown back on a 1-year deal. Still think they need one more guy. And the board got thin fast at this position, which is never surprising.
I mean, Roman's still here.
I forgot you switched that pick. That's the pick.
Correct.
That's the pick. I didn't have him on the board because I hit select.
Oh, you never do that.
No, you never. The mock draft machine has us in the ankle lock at all times.
Yeah. Just the walls of Jericho.
Yes. Right. The mock draft machine sharpshooter has gotten us again. Roman Wilson is absolutely the pick.
Okay. All right. So he's the pick. The Buffalo Bills are on the clock. We went with Brian Thomas Jr. in the first round.
Right. They lost Poyer.
They did lose Poyer. Oh, probably. Oh, man. Javon Bullard.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
What about Marshawn Nealon, though?
That's a very Brandon Beane kind of edge.
Yeah, I feel like their edge rush group was lacking last year.
Because I don't really love the guys they've taken over the years, to be honest with you.
No,
I don't really love Nealon like that, but it's their kind of edge. I think he's a serviceable starter with limited pass rush upside. Did you see his 3-cone and short shuttle? No, is it bananas?
It was stupid.
Damn. All right, maybe I'll revisit. Maybe I'll apologize for my Nealon sins.
It was totally stupid for a guy who's 3'7", or not 3'7", 2'7".
I didn't see him twitchy on tape. Maybe I need to.
I didn't either.
I need to rewatch the tape.
Maybe it was the Jordan Wilkins.
Jordan Wilkins is the GOAT of that.
Right.
Jordan Wilkins teleports in the 3-cone, and you watch the tape, and you're like, you don't do anything agile as a rusher. It's so. I will revisit. What do they say? Repent for your sins.
That is a thing that religious people do say. Yeah.
You clearly can tell. Recently, I've been to church.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll go Marshawn Nealon here.
All right. The Lions got Zach Frazier.
Ah, damn! I just screwed the Lions
a little, but it's okay. They got Zach Frazier.
You wouldn't have picked him. You hate him.
I wouldn't have taken him, but he's such a Caffeine Campbell pick, man. I mean, local. It's all there. Don't forget moving expenses.
Moving expenses. People forget about
People keep forgetting about this. It's driving us nuts. Oh, man. This is a funny team because they don't need a ton.
No.
It's just a really good football team.
Yeah, they're picking for kicks.
They are absolutely picking for laughs. Shits and gigs pick. So with that being said,
Goodell says, with the shits and gigs pick,
I'm taking Jonah
Detroit
Ellis.
Lions select
Jonah Ellis.
Oh, you going with Ellis?
Yeah. I know he's a little smaller for an edge, but they kind of throw him out there on passing downs and say, go raise hell.
Would they take Edgerrin Cooper? Where are they at linebacker?
They just used a first on Jack Campbell, though.
Oh, yeah. They pick Campbell. That's right.
Because I thought the same as you. I'm like, okay, maybe Junior Colson or Edgerrin Cooper here.
Yeah,
then I checked myself before I wrecked myself.
You always got to do that. Okay, so who'd you pick?
I took Jonah Ellis.
Okay, Jonah Ellis. All right. Baltimore Ravens is 62. I know they have Kyle Hamilton, who's kind of like to do it all, but Javon Bullard just seems like a Raven. So I kind of want to do that. Oh, Xavier Legette also feels like a Raven.
Don't forget, they might need he does. Wow, he does. Odell's a free agent. Yeah, they could use a wide receiver. I think you're talking yourself into the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Xavier Legette. We're going Legette here. We're going Xavier Legette.
Niners, they got Nate Wiggins at the end of round 1.
Good for them.
Good for them. Very proud of them. I know they lost Kinlaw in free agency, and they cut Armstead. Man, they can kind of use one more rotational D tackle. Ruka Rororo is there.
I think he'd be solid for him.
I think so too. That's kind of where I'm leaning. I liked the O-line depth as well. You know who else fits them? Brandon Dorless.
Sure.
I'm going to go with Dorless here.
My man.
Yeah. Dorless is that guy that every time I look at my big board, I'm like, why do I not have Dorless higher?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I keep doing this? But then I never actually am proactive about making the move. I will fix this before the end.
So for the Kansas City Chiefs, we had them taking Ennis Rakestraw Jr. at the back end of the first round because he's a good player and it's a good pick, and I won't hear anything else. They could go tackle. Like, I think Blake Fisher is an option for them here at 64.
They need a tackle. Yeah.
Brother, I watched Javon Baker from UCF again.
Me too.
He's good.
He's very good.
In a less crowded wide receiver class, he'd have people fighting for him as a top 8 receiver.
Just did my top 20 for NBC. It's on NFL and NBC YouTube channel if you want to see the full rankings. Baker was wide receiver 16 for me.
Yeah.
But in my top 75 players, I think.
Yeah, I mean, dude.
Or 80 players, something like that.
I'm the same exact thing. He's 76 on my board.
And I was like, damn,
I'm right there with you.
This sucks. This guy's great. And it's just victim of the class. Yeah. Really good tape. Really good tape.
I like him. I like him a lot. So I can see him on the board for the Chiefs, but I am going to go Blake Fisher, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame. Younger dude, needs a little bit of time to develop, but I think the Chiefs can absolutely give him that. All right, there we go, folks. There it is. 2-round post-free agency mock draft. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to scroll very slowly so you guys can see the recap of it. If you're audio only, I love you to death. I'm not going to read all of these names, so you can go check it out. Maybe that'll force you to get over to YouTube. Like and subscribe to the channel, which, by the way, we're almost at 25K subscribers. You guys are truly just the best people in the world. We love you so much. Our goal, again, we're transparent about everything on this podcast. A goal that we had was to do enough content, good enough content to have 20,000 subscribers by the draft. And here we are, we're 5-6 weeks away from that, and we're almost at 25. So we love you guys. We can't thank you enough. We would love to hear your opinion on this here post-free agency mock draft. There's obviously going to be a couple of free agency moves that happen after this mock draft is released. So we can factor those into the future mock drafts that we are going to do. But let us know what you thought. Best way to do that, of course, the YouTube comment section, youtube.com/NFL Stock Exchange. If you are audio only, again, you can get your thoughts to us on Twitter and Instagram at Tampa Bay Trey and at Connor J. Rogers. This is I don't want to speak in absolutes here, but I think this is the last mock draft that Connor and I will do, just the two of us, for a little while now.
Never again.
Ever. We're retiring after this. We got the yacht.
The yacht's secured. The podcast is over.
We got the yacht. The podcast is over. Thanks for nothing, guys. No, but this is the last mock draft that just the two of us are going to do for probably the next month, probably up until like a week or two before actual draft weekend gets kicked off, because we are going to start the guest mock draft series that you guys really loved last year. We're going to have some really good guests. I don't want to kind of give it away because we haven't reached out yet. We have some people that I think are going to be for sure that we're going to get on, but some repeat guests from last year that you absolutely loved. And then I'd love to hear in the comments people that you would love to see us collab with for this mock draft series. If there's somebody that you really would love to see that with, hit us up in the comments. We'd love to hit them up. It's a great industry. So, we can reach out to these people and see if we can make it happen for you guys out there. Connor, got anything else before we get out of here, my friend?
I'll close with a funny tweet from Matt Curran, a listener. He said, he tweeted at both of us, "I was a little cranky there wasn't a pod last night, but frankly, it would have been so outdated by right now it worked out." That's how Trevor and I felt when we woke up as well. So thank you, everybody. When there's not a pod on a day you expect it, I promise, for two idiots running a mock draft simulator, we do have tactical reasons behind it more often than not.
And this was it, to try to give, we wanted to be the first voices that y'all heard for an updated mock draft. I can't wait for the Vikings to trade up to number 3 the second that we publish this podcast.
The Kenny Pickett trade was actually the real thing we were waiting for. We got tipped off. We waited for the Kenny Pickett trade.
We got confirmation right before we went live. Appreciate everybody out there. We will see you guys next week. I'm Trevor. That is Connor. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. We will see you guys next week.